We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to the channel. Here on Transformers Week, we are going to continue, and I am going to be talking about Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy Toyline. Now, I'm actually going to be showing off some of the ones that I have. I have nowhere near the complete collection, and I probably never will. But the ones that I do have, I think are really awesome. These toys are actually fairly well made considering that they're entirely plastic. And I have a few of them out of the boxes right here in some poses. And you can see the varying sizes that they all come in. Now, this one in particular, the Ironhide figure, is the largest of the Autobots that I have, and next to Megatron, who is the largest Decepticon that I have, well, you can see that there is a considerable size difference. Ironhide is listed as the deluxe class of figures, and his price tag comes in at $19.99. Megatron is listed as a Voyager class, and his price tag is $39.99. These are not really cheap figures to buy. But even with that being said, these are well-made figures, and they do bear a lot of resemblance to those traditional G1 designs. And for myself, being a longtime collector of this franchise of toys, that is something that I truly do appreciate. Next up, we will be taking a look at Sideswipe. Now, Sideswipe is in the deluxe class as well, and his price point is $19.99. Now, the little gun that I just took off his hand does not actually come with him, and you can see the size difference between him and Ironhide, who are in the same class. He's actually a very good looking figure, and if you've seen by the way that the face looks, this is actually a discussion that I had with Bear. Now, Bear thought that the character that he's seen in the second trailer for the Siege War of Cybertron was Sideswipe, and as you could tell, this is not the case. What he's seen was a female Autobot. Now, the little gun that comes with him is actually a separate figure that is a price point of $9.99. His name is Singe. And these are basically like the old school G1 Target Masters. He just transforms from a little mini robot into a gun. And as you can see, compared to Sideswipe, he is a relatively small figure. All of the Battle Masters are. Next up, we will be taking a look at Hound. Now, Hound is another deluxe figure, very reminiscent of his G1 look. And next to Skytread, who is actually supposed to be Battletrap from the old G1, who was a Duocon, you could see that they are relatively close in the same size. Most of the deluxe figures are very similar in size. There's a few outside of that, like Ironhide and a few others, but most of them are right around that same height range. Now we're going to look at Soundwave, Laserbeak, and Ravage. Now, Laserbeak and Ravage come in a 2-pack by themselves, and they were actually price point at $9.99 as well as the Battle Masters are. Soundwave is listed as a Voyager class, so his price tag was $39.99. And of course, as with all these figures, they are extremely posable. Some of the smaller figures like Ravage and Laserbeak are so small that they are almost fragile, and I tend to like to take my time transforming them so as not to have an accident and break them. I have not broken either one of them yet, and I've transformed them a few times. So, I mean, even though they feel a little bit flimsy, they're not that bad as long as you don't get really rough with them. Now, unfortunately, I do believe if you got rough with these, they probably wouldn't make it because they're so small and the hinge points are so tiny that if you were rough with them, you would have no choice but to wind up breaking them. That is the only downside to the smaller figures. And much like the original G1 versions, Ravage and Laserbeak both transform into tapes. Now here's the cool thing that they carried over, I think, when they did this line. They made Soundwave with that opening chest door like he had in the old G1 toy line. So when you transform Ravage and Laserbeak into these data discs, I'm supposing, or data tapes, I'm not really sure exactly what they're supposed to be because it doesn't really say on the packaging, but they can insert into the chest of Soundwave. That is very cool. It is a very awesome nod to the original G1 toy line, and I love that. That is awesome that they did that. I mean, because quite honestly, would it feel like Soundwave if he was not able to take his companions and pop them into his chest cavity and launch them out when he needed them? I would think not. Now, the Laserbeak one is actually slightly easier to transform, and it's not quite as fragile as the Ravage one feels. And he actually inserts into the chest of Soundwave a little bit easier. And when I pop that button, man, he just flies right out. The Ravage one just kind of hangs up in the chest cavity a little bit. So next up, we're going to take a look at Starscream. Now, Starscream I haven't even removed from the box. I just haven't wanted to at this point. But you can see him and Soundwave are relatively close to the same size. And of course, Starscream as well as Soundwave are both in that Voyager class with the price tag of $39.99. And as seen in the second trailer that me and Bear went over, this is Reflector, who was clearly seen in that trailer. The one difference is he's not called Reflector, he's actually called Refractor because they lost the license to the original name of Reflector. However, like the original G1, if you have 3 of these guys, unfortunately you have to purchase 3 separately, you can combine them all into a camera. Otherwise, each one just transforms into this semi-ship looking shape. There was an exclusive that you could buy that came with the traditional G1 colors for 3 figures. I don't remember how much that one cost. I know it is considerably more since it's all 3 characters in their original G1 colors. Next up, we have Impactor. Now, most people are not going to know the name or this character of Impactor. He was only really ever seen in the IDW comics with The Last Stand of the Wreckers. Impactor is seen in the second trailer for the War for Cybertron series. And then we have Chromia. Now, if you remember the original G1 Sunbow cartoons, Chromia was pretty much the girlfriend of Ironhide. I think she has that very G1 Sunbow cartoonish looking form and is actually very well done. Yeah, she looks a little spindly, but most of the female Autobots do. The last one I'm showing here is Spinister, who was part of the G1 Target Master line. Now, beyond the ones that I have, they actually do have a leader class that comes in at a price point of $49.99, and they also have what is called the Commander class, which is $59.99. As far as the Commander class, I really only remember 2 being made so far. That was Jetfire and Skylynx. As far as some of the leader class figures that are out there, there is a Shockwave, an Ultra Magnus, a Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, and Astro Train. And there is one other line that I didn't mention. The last one is the Titan class. Now, I think they've only made the 1 figure, which is Omega Supreme with the Autobot Countdown. This thing is huge, and as far as the price tag, I know it is highly expensive. I just don't remember exactly how much it costs. And of course, there are always other exclusives and specials that you can only find through mail away.
I have done what I have to do to end this war. Resistance. Have my actions led to the extinction of our people? The circle closes, Prime. We end this war now.
Anyway, guys, that's all I have on this one. What do you think about this toy line? Does it look very much like the old G1 toy lines? Are you interested in it? Do you care at all? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, my friends, as always, I am oh so glad that you are here and you decide to spend time and watch this video. If you like what you've seen and what you heard, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen and what you've heard so far. And if you like it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I still am so close to finally getting back all the money for that late mortgage I had, and I still have some items up on eBay. So if you guys want to take a look or pass the word along, I would greatly appreciate it. And remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you can and can't watch, how you should and shouldn't feel. Because your silence gives consent. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.